They're the dangerous ones. They're the ones that are going to hurt themselves.
I've actually seen on More Plates, More Dates on Derek's channel. And I don't know if he's referring to us, and he does a lot of good videos. He's a good guy, whatever. But I think he calls it like fake natty, or I don't know what term he used, but it was like guys that are telling you their doses, but not telling you the full doses.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it kind of bothered me because I'm like,
What's up guys, Derek, moreplacemordates.com. Today we're going to be reacting to the podcast by Fouad Abiad. He had Ben Chow, James Hollingshed, and Brett Wilkin on the other day to talk about, some of the issues in bodybuilding right now. There's a lot of deaths recently, and they're discussing drug use and dosages, and pros talking about what dosages they use and if indeed they are being truthful or not, or if they actually blast out the wazoo above and beyond what they claim they do. Because, again, obviously no one wants to underplay their hard work. Everyone wants, the layman to acknowledge that it's not just the drugs, it's the fucking copious amounts of food, the hard training, the recovery, etc., which, everyone should know at this point who even looks into this at all. That is 100% true. The amount of adherence to that kind of, strict work ethic, the actual hard stuff, not just injecting shit, absolutely critical for sure. But obviously there's drug use involved, and it's pretty, substantial when you compare it to what you would naturally produce as a male. So again, some pros are pretty open about their stuff, and some of them do tell the truth, and then some, don't. But again, the context and what is being implied when they talk about that stuff, like again, some people, they kind of just want to, it's a very common practice to say what you do, roughly, and then maybe like, I don't know, it's like a chick who tells you how many guys she slept with. It's like, are you really gonna believe the fucking number? It's the same thing with guys on gear, are you going to really believe the number they tell you? Or is it like the number times maybe like 1.5 oftentimes? So I'm not saying that's always the case, but there was sort of a discussion brought up in the podcast talking about me and a statement I've made in the past before. And I thought the way it came up was a little bit misleading. So we're going to give my reaction to it first off. And then we're going to be talking about a current top placing Olympian, the Mr. Olympia, Olympian, that's what I mean. In modern times, a guy who is a top fucking open bodybuilder at the Olympia, who places like literally almost winning the fucking show. I'm not gonna say exactly what his placing is, but he's up there in the mix, and what he takes exactly, transparently. So anyways, let's dive in.
Here's the worrying thing to me, and it's not like I'm less worried about you guys, right? I'm more worried about some of the people. For instance, I don't often read the comments, but I read a comment when we did the Dallas podcast.
Yeah.
And we all went round and said how much tren we used, right?
Yeah.
And hand on heart, that was, I believe, everyone in that damn room.
Yeah.
Someone wrote in the comment I've lost all integrity because I know these boys are fucking lying about tren. I run like 2 grams of tren, so these boys must be running way more. And I'm like, he's a fucking dick. You're a fucking moron. I promise you, those values were accurate. And the problem that I see is you'll get a group of guys like us come out and we'll say what we used. And I have no bones admitting the dosages that I've used. And like you said, I went up to 800 and that was probably a bit too much. But there are people out there that listen and go, nah, that's bollocks.
I know that.
No way.
I know that.
And they're the dangerous ones. They're the ones that are going to fucking hurt themselves.
I've actually seen on More Plates, More Dates on Derek's channel. And I don't know if he's referring to us, and he does a lot of good videos. He's a good guy, whatever. But I think he calls it like fake natty, or I don't know what term he used, but it was like guys that are telling you their doses, but not telling you the full doses.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it kind of bothered me because I'm like, like I said, I don't know if he's talking about us, but I know people do think that about us. And I'm like, look, I think 800 is a fucking lot.
Definitely not talking about you, bro. To say 800 tren, you're lying about it. I believe that is the most you can tolerate, for sure. Trust me, that is was not relating to them whatsoever. But anyways, Fake natty, definitely not the term associated with guys who lie about their dosages. I don't even think I have a term for it, to be honest. I don't know. What is a good term? I'm not really sure. There's the retroactive fake natty, which is the IFBB pros who claim they were natural when their physiques were enhanced in some of their like before shots that they talk about. Like, this is basically, a lot of times they will show their baseline genetics to kind of show like, see, this is why I'm where I'm at, because I have such good genetics and I fucking work hard and blah, blah, blah. And they'll show a picture of their physique where it's like, it's hard to convince a lot of people that it's not enhanced already. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, no wonder this guy's where he's at, because if he was natural looking like that, obviously when you hop on gear, you're gonna look like where he's at now. And that's sort of where a line gets drawn, where individuals get a bit iffy on if the pro is indeed telling the truth about what their baseline genetics were naturally actually capable of achieving. Not a subject we really talk about a lot, to be honest. However, the dosage discussion, people inflating or I guess deflating their dosage protocols when they're describing what they use, you know, a pretty common practice. I think a lot of people will like, you know, it's literally the best example I can give in real life is like chicks who underplay like how many guys they've slept with. Like, that's literally the fucking same thing. They don't want to be judged. They don't want to, well, it's not downplaying their hard work or their fucking adherence to a diet or anything, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like makes them look worse if they tell you the fucking truth. So no guy wants to be known as the abusive fucking guy who cranked shit way harder than, you know, the majority of other guys to look like he did. And some of the guys who are super genetically blessed don't crank as hard as the next guy. You know, there are certain individuals at the Olympia level who will be pushing shit, you know, double as hard as the next guy, potentially to achieve the same end outcome. Or perhaps they didn't need that much to begin with and they just think that that's what they need to be doing. Or fucking vice versa. You know, it's individual dependent at the end of the day. Some guys can actually make use of this much drug. Some guys can't even tolerate that dose. So even if they wanted to use it, they fucking can't without having their kidney goddamn blow out. Like, there's a bunch of different scenarios. And I'll let them continue and then we'll kind of give more insight.
Like, when I said 800, I was embarrassed that I was the highest. So it's like, I'm like, that we're not. So when I look,
I know there are some pros out there that have taken the piss and run stupid
of course
amounts.
Yeah, there's people that
what
lie.
I'm saying is, in certainly the circle that I'm moving in and talking to you guys, and I've had conversations and I've watched you guys inject stuff as well, the values are fucking true, and it's the perception that, oh, that's bullshit, they just don't want to admit it. That's a really dangerous fucking thought.
Listen, when I don't want to say, I won't say. Like, I've said to people, like, the test level I found that worked best for me was like 1250. And I forget what podcast we were doing, but somebody was like, well, what's the highest? I'm like, I don't want to tell you. So I experimented for a couple of years there. And I always tell people it didn't work. It was too much. And that's why I say 1250 was like the proper amount for me. Yeah. But you're right, Ben. It bothers me because part of the reason why I started the podcast was to get some of these things out there.
Yeah, like, ultimately that sounds like, you know, some people are like, well, only 1250, like, bullshit. Like, when you actually cumulatively add everything up, like, in an off season, are you really going to be blasting like fucking DHT derivative? Well, you might have DHT derivatives in there, but I mean like several hardening agents, like throwing the kitchen sink at yourself in order to achieve some cosmetic look? No, you're not. You're basically just using, you know, the majority of guys are using a test base at like, you know, a fucking gram and a half maybe at most in some cases. Okay, some guys push it way harder than that, but I'm just saying in general, there's a lot of guys who will, you know, that's a base cumulatively equating to like a gram and a half. There might be a 19 nor on top, you know, a half a gram-ish. There might be a DHT derivative instead, like a primobolan. That's kind of like a common, you know, go-to. You know, do you have a test in an androlone or a test in a fucking primo or a test in an EQ? Like, that's what a lot of these guys are fucking doing at the end of the day. Doesn't mean it's necessarily optimal, you know, when you're talking about test EQ and you're talking about this versus that. Doesn't fucking really matter. At the end of the day, it's not like these guys are really cranking orals hard in the off season, because then they can't eat, at least most of them can't, the amount of food they need to sustain their weight. So their cumulative dosage burden per week is significantly lower than when they're in their contest prep. That's where the fucking grams go up. Like, maybe you're at, you know, a couple grams in the off season. You have like most of the guys I see would be pushing abuse. Okay, these are all abusive dosages to begin with, but I mean, like, the vast disparity I see more so in like the GH doses that people are kind of like more iffy on. Like, do I need as much as I can afford, or can I get away with 4 IUs of pharma kind of thing, rather than the controversy around like 1 to 1.5 grams of a test base. You know what I mean? Pre-contest, yeah, when you're throwing the kitchen sink of fucking trenbolone, you have fucking Halo in your last couple of weeks, you have your, you know, unnecessary Proviron, which is crushing your non-existent SHBG. You have your fucking Winnie in there. You have your, you know, how many fucking random hardeners are guys throwing in on top of their fucking ancillaries that they deem appropriate to, you know, cut out water however many weeks out, do this, do that. That's where the grams climb, you know? That's where you start to get it. Like, I heard the pros are doing like 4 or 5 grams or whatever the fuck. Like, yeah, when you add up all those dosages, like, yeah, that could easily add up to, you know, 4 grams or whatever. But in the off season, like, I don't, like, there's no reason for me to be like, no, 1250, like, it's way the fuck off when he's talking now. And I definitely was not referring to him. And to be honest, I don't even think that's really a topic of conversation I cover like that extensively anyways. But interesting side note that is going to come as a result. I thought this was like a perfect opportunity to present this video that was already on the to-do list, but is now like the perfect fucking segue about an Olympian cycle that is like literally in the mix of the top guys. Ultimately, at the end of the day, what the pros really do is kind of like, again, the lines get blurred. Even when guys are talking to their friends, they don't want to be seen as the abusive one in the tribe, you know? They want to be seen as the guy who is genetically blessed and doesn't need that much shit. He's a hard worker. This is why he has what he has. And maybe he'll, you know, I didn't sleep with fucking 20 guys. I slept with fucking 9 or whatever the fuck, you know? It's not that uncommon. So I'm not saying that's what they do necessarily, but I'm saying that's a pretty common practice and it's just human behavior at the end of the day. So anyways, I'll let them finish, then we'll discuss this, you know, Olympian cycle.
So people that were taking 2 grams of tren would be like, oh, fuck, those guys are doing half or less of what I'm doing. I should change. But instead, they just call us liars and do more.
It's weird because they'll believe us on everything else. Like, we'll talk about depression,
that's right,
wiping our asses and everything else, right? And they're like, oh, these guys, yeah, they're like, these guys are so honest and so real. Nah, he's lying about that though. Like, yeah. That's bullshit because I'd run more than that. Mate. Nope.
James is falling asleep.
Like, one thing I do think is definitely the case too, which I have mentioned many times, is a lot of guys, they think that the secret to looking like these guys is that they just haven't used as much as these guys use. So when they don't get the results of these guys, they conclude in their head, oh, it must be because I haven't taken tren yet, or I haven't taken a mega dose of GH yet, or I haven't hit this fucking 4 gram threshold in my off season or whatever. You know, the goalposts keep moving every time they don't get results. And this is where you see guys, like, there's a lot of guys at regional shows that never do well. And you'd be shocked, like, even at like classic physique level, even men's physique level, guys who fucking push grams and never look anywhere close to these guys. They never get the size, they never grow past certain plateaus. Even individuals that are like super genetically blessed and place well at like classic Olympia, like Logan Franklin, for example. Some of these guys, even the fucking genetic elites, they're genetic elite for their like structure or whatever, or like what their body has been deemed capable of by their, you know, genetic predisposition, the amount of muscle fucking cells they have at baseline, etc. But at the end of the day, they don't respond the same way as open top pros do. So no matter what they do and how hard they push the envelope, they simply cannot grow as exponentially as a guy like Nick Walker. Like, there's a reason why there's guys at the Classic O who still have room in their weight cap, despite the fact that they do dedicated off seasons. They literally fucking do this for a living, and they have like significant drive. Like, they work hard in the gym. Like, does Logan Franklin like train like a pussy? No, he trains hard as fuck. And it looks like, from what I can tell, he barely even fucking, like, all he does is physique updates, you know? All he cares about is winning. Like, the guy is very, very driven. He does everything correctly that I can tell. I'm quite sure he pushes the drugs to the degree that he deems appropriate, thinking it's going to help him grow. And yet he still has room to fucking grow in his weight cap. You know, is it a coincidence? No, like, it's just one of those things where everyone's genetic predisposition / limitations, you know, the amount of, like, you can't dictate at baseline, like, how many muscle cells you have, what your AR expression is like, genetic polymorphisms that dictate your response to certain anabolic agents. Like, these things, a lot of them are predetermined, and yeah, you can manipulate them with pharmacology to some extent, but ultimately, you're not going to mutate like Nick Walker, you know? The fucking likelihood that you're going to be one of those top 0.00 whatever percent guys, there's different factors of genetics in bodybuilding. Like, there's muscle insertions, it's like one thing, your actual symmetry and your fucking structure. There is your drug response. There is your actual appetite, like how much you can even eat. Like there's so many like different factors of genetics people don't think of. Your actual organ sustainability and tolerability of drugs, like how clean does your blood work look when you take hella shit? Can your body even fucking survive when you take certain things? You know? Can your body even survive walking around a high body weight? What's your baseline blood pressure? Like there's so many different factors of like genetics that round out a bodybuilder that ultimately it doesn't just boil down to like one thing. Like, do you have good genetics on paper? Because there are tons of guys with insane genetics, like Chris Bumstead. Do you think if he, like again, could he compete at the top of the Olympia in the open division, even though he's like the most genetically blessed, structurally fucking sound guy ever? Like, no, like I don't think he could grow to the size of the top open Olympia guys. And that's not a knock on him whatsoever. He has like a fucking debilitating autoimmune kidney disease. Like, you know, like there's so many factors of genetics that play into it. And certain guys just like aren't able to grow the same. Certain guys can't tolerate the drug. Some guys, you know, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I'll let them finish and then see if I have more fucking rambling.
Well, I'm just like, I'm like that much.
But I do think that's a dangerous mindset. And like I said, I'm more worried about the guys on the fringe that don't have access to you guys and the behind the doors. And
I totally forgot the point I was trying to make as I was rambling there. The point was there are literally guys at regional shows again that see the top guys like this and they don't even realize that, they do realize once they've like burnt the fuck out of their bodies though, that pushing the envelope does not just equate to the same genetic response in every individual. They think that if they don't look the same, they don't have as much size, oh, it must boil down to I didn't use the same exotic drug. Oh, I didn't use the same amount of GH. Oh, I didn't use the same amount of anabolic androgenic steroids. That's what they think. And then they find out as they push the envelope hard, that wasn't the case. And indeed, it was their genetic limitations and it had nothing to do with their fucking drug intake. And sure, drugs were involved, but these pros that were able to achieve what you still couldn't achieve on a fraction of the shit. Sure, they had to push the envelope to get there to some extent, but their version of pushing the envelope is different than the guys who push the envelope who never get there because they think it's a never-ending moving of the goalpost.
they assume what you guys are taking because they know what they're taking, and they're like, well, I don't look like Brett or James, and I'm taking a gram of test, so these boys must be running 3 times that.
Exactly.
I've been training, like, what they don't understand, you've been training since you were like fucking 12.
But it's also not just training, it's also genetic. I mean, look, Ben said it to me numerous times. Ben trained with Luke.
Training since 12 has fucking nothing to do with it, let's be honest. Like, you know, like, sure, you might have a better foundation because you've hit your adulthood with many years of training under your belt, but I mean, like, you're either gonna get fucking huge when you take drugs or you're not. And, you know, like, if you have your eating dialed in and your training is like fucking reasonable and you're sleeping, when you take the drugs, you either respond or you don't. Like, it's not fucking rocket science to go in the gym, hit a set of 12, go to fucking failure on the last set, you know? Like, I don't know. Like, again, James is a cool guy, but like, when you try to boil stuff down to like training, like, there are guys who fucking train hard who will never look like you because they just don't have the same genetics. There are guys that train just as fucking hard, bro.
And he would do the exact same things Luke was doing, and Luke would grow like a fucking weed, and Ben wouldn't.
Exactly.
So it's not drugs. It's not just working hard. It's not just training.
People underestimate genetics. They really do.
That's one of the things that annoys me though too about, like, sometimes the pros, like, they have such amazing response to shit, to training, to food, to drugs, to everything. And then they'll be like, everyone trains like a pussy now. And it's just like, I'm not saying they do that necessarily, but I've seen it before. Pros talking about everyone just trains like a bitch now. And it's like, no, actually, like, maybe a lot of people do, but I mean, like, there are tons of guys who just never look the same as you, but they train just as fucking hard, you know? Like, ultimately, it's not that hard to go in the gym and like fucking hit your, you know, what, like 20 fucking sets of a body part, 25 sets, like whatever it is. It's not rocket science. Go to failure in the last set. It's not that fucking mentally taxing to go to failure on like an incline bench press, you know?
And talking about blood work, I've probably seen way over 1,000 sets of blood work now. The guys that have better genetics have better blood work too.
Your body's processing things better.
Yeah, and I know Dr. Scott Stevenson's spoken about this, and he hasn't quite pinned it, but he suspects that there's some sort of enzyme or system in like a good pro that is able to cleave and metabolize the compound better, and it puts less strain on the organs.
Well, I think that as genetic response to androgens at the end of the day is going to be response elements induced at the androgen receptor, and there's going to be a fuck ton of gene variations that account for your individual response. And if you saw the videos I've done on like myostatin deficiency and gene mutations and whatnot, individuals that have mutation in the gene that encodes for myostatin, these individuals have like the rate limiting step of muscle growth, like at least inhibited to some extent, whereby they end up with literally more muscle fibers at birth than the next guys. It's like the fucking difference between like legendary Super Saiyan Broly and like Goku, you know what I mean? No matter what Goku does, he's not gonna have the same amount of fucking muscle fibers as Broly. And that's a genetic thing at the end of the day. So yeah, like ultimately, yeah, and maybe the way you cleave hormones, you know, like I don't know what he's referring to there, but if you have like an esterified compound, you know, the way your body cleaves it and frees hormone into circulation, yeah, like that's going to be a genetically predetermined, or I don't know, like a age determined, a genetically predetermined to some extent thing, whereby the pharmacokinetic profile of the drug will vary. Like there's a reason why half-lives are like, have a range, you know? Like how many people actually know what the test E half-life really is? Because ultimately it's going to vary individual to individual with like a reasonably like, you know, there's a reasonable variation there. It's not just like fucking 12 to 24 hours in some cases. So yeah, but like ultimately some individuals when it comes to androgen receptor agonists just respond like motherfuckers. Same with guys with like IGF-1. Like how many guys are like GH non-responders essentially? And when I say non-responder, like sure, they get the lipolysis benefits, but when it comes to like, you know, satellite cell proliferation, myonuclear donation, like how many people like don't really get anything out of GH versus guys who just like, you know, get a fuck ton out of it from like a muscle growth aspect. There are a lot of even top pros like, you know, that just say like it's an expensive fat burner. And then there are some that say like it was the thing that fucking transformed their physique. That's another example of genetic response, and it's a totally different element of gene variation than from your AR, you know, dictated processes. So even your response to anabolic doesn't mean you respond the same to fucking GH or insulin or anything of that nature. Like there's so many predetermined genetic factors for so many different things.
Well, Dr. Dean talked about this on my podcast about hyper responders and how some guys absorb and get rid of drugs faster than other guys.
Yeah, like look, if Luke and I was both taking even 250 milligrams a test, it's way more potent on him than it was me. It'd be at the same damn bottle. His body just took it and used it better.
So that would be like AR content dictated, in my opinion, not necessarily like metabolism or pharmacokinetic profile, which I don't know. Like I don't know if that's what they're talking about right now, but that's what I would presume.
Yeah, if anybody's interested, go back and watch the Dr. Dean podcast. I actually discussed hyper responders with him, and he talked about all the science of it. I'm not going to try and repeat it because I can't. But he said it's real. He said, you know, some people, the way they metabolize drugs is different. And that would make sense for blood work too, because if it's just sitting in your fucking body, then it's going to be worse for you.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's a point. I'm glad you brought that up. And is like, you need to stress this to people is like, in bodybuilding, genetics is number one. I mean, you know, you're not going to win the Olympian unless your genetic potential is there. And you're not even going to be top 10 in the Olympian unless, you know, all these guys have great genetics. And like sometimes we even lose ourselves a little bit. We're like, you know, Branch worked his ass off. You know, he's the hardest worker in the room, and he always was. But that motherfucker had some great genetics too. You know what I mean? Like even when he was 16 years old, he was.
Yeah, it makes me laugh when they say he didn't. Like he's looking with that teenager. He looked fucking phenomenal.
He was phenomenal. That's when he actually had more of like a classic physique, and then he putting on that mad muscle just through hard work. But his genetic potential was great, and so that's why you got these guys that are taking like you said, 2,000 grams of freaking, or not 2,000 grams.
Can you imagine what 2,000
trend?
Can you imagine what 2 grams of test or 2 grams of trend feels like?
Your eyeballs have to turn yellow at that point, don't they?
Can you imagine the level? Can
you
imagine the amount of coughing you'd be doing? Like,
I would worry about the mental state of the person at that point. I would not want to be around anyone.
Okay, so I think we kind of, you know, the idea at the end of the day is, you know, genetic response will vary, and just because a guy looks a certain way, it doesn't mean he's on more drugs than you or less drugs, you know? Well, I guess in some cases it might be less drugs, but I mean, it's hard to fucking judge when you don't actually, you know, if you haven't gone through this or seen anecdotally this play out, the first assumption by many people logically would be, you know, you see a dose-dependent increase in muscle mass, at least, you know, it's not linear, but there is a, you know, a diminishing returns effect. But in the studies, you know, dose response to super physiological amounts of testosterone or nandrolone or any of these compounds that we have access to the literature on, higher dose equals more muscle, you know? Although diminishing, like ultimately you're probably gonna assume like, oh, if I don't look like this guy, he's probably just doing more shit or he's using something exotic or he has way more GH and like, oh fuck, I need to get more money to get more pharma GH because that's the fucking secret, bro. GH15, that's why so many people believed what he was talking about because no one, you know, how many people were actually able to afford 15 units of fucking GH? Almost no one. So they just assumed like, oh, that's definitely what's happening. You know, the top guys, the fucking mutants. I remember there was like an article about Evan Centopani on the GH15 board and it was like, he just abuses the fucking trend EQ and fucking, it's 15 units of GH. That's what it is. And that's the mutation stack, bro, or whatever it was. It's not the fucking case. I'm sure there definitely are guys who push 15 plus IUs, but I mean, it doesn't mean that just because one guy does something, another guy does something, if he's the same size or bigger or whatever. So anyway, circling back to this top Olympian stack. So over the years, throughout the development of my channel and just, you know, I used to do consultations back in the day and now I kind of just in passing, if people ask me shit and it's, you know, if I have the fucking opportunity to chime in a scenario that I think is useful or, I don't know, like I'm very selective about when I respond to shit at this point because my time is like essentially non-existent. But I've sort of been, now that I don't actually do direct consultations and my profile has grown like fairly significantly, I've been sort of brought into like audit top guru stacks, health protocols too. It kind of started more as like, how do I preserve my hair while I blast the fuck out of gear? And then it sort of transitioned to, does my stack make sense? What about, you know, how do I maintain my health while I'm using this shit? And then they would have to be transparent about what they're using. And yeah, maybe in some cases they're still fucking lying, but I mean, ultimately at the end of the day, this was like, you gotta tell me what you're fucking actually doing for me to help you. So I would get access to blood work, I would get access to stacks designed by top gurus, I would get access to high quality diagnostics, or after they get it, you know, that's what we get access to. And this is the kind of stuff that I would sort of, you know, anecdotally compile in my head over the years of like top guys at the Classic O, the Open O, men's physique level, random fucking sports, etc. Or just, you know, random guys, because, you know, I did used to do consultations back in the day too. And one individual in particular, he's like very, very trying to be more proactive about his health. You know, he's seeing what's going on in the industry with guys dropping like flies around him, who he's literally competed against in the Open Olympia. And he wants to be more careful. You know, he's very mindful of longevity in the sport and wants to be more prudent about shit because he doesn't necessarily think that what he's doing is, you know, the best thing he could be doing. So he has granted me, as well as Leo and Steve as well, permission to basically expose what he's doing for his stack, his health protocol, which is, you know, like the health stuff is going to be newly updated, you know, since we've like audited his shit. But the stack in particular, I think will be pretty insightful for people to see. This isn't one of those things where it's like, oh, this fucking forum, like this is Big Ramy's like hypothetical stack. Like, I don't know, there's a lot of those. It's like, oh, this is purportedly what he did. And it's just like a random, like anonymous fucking user on like a Get Big forum or like a fucking bodybuilding.com forum or something. Like this is literally a guy copy and pasting shit from the guru and then us interpreting / giving our analysis. And then subsequent to that, after the fact of actually analyzing it, asking if we have permission to put it out there because it could be a good educational moment. So I've never done this with any pros that I've done, worked with in the past or audited their shit, but this one I thought was worthwhile because this individual is like at the top of the level of at risk by like sheer body weight in terms of drug exposure. Like this is like top echelon, upper echelon of the Open Olympia with a top placing guy. Like, so I think if any of the examples would be the most insightful to make a video on, it would be this one. And the fact that he was asking Leo and I and Steve to analyze his stuff in tandem, I was like, okay, well, we might as well make a mini podcast out of it or something. So if you haven't seen the Super Physiological Man podcast between me, Leo, and Steve, we do it like Well, at this point, it's been like every few months. Mainly on me though, because my lack of fucking time lately. But I'm trying to be more consistent with it, and we will visit probably a couple other topics too, but that will be, the main encompassing topic of that discussion for that podcast. And we'll deep dive into it and give our, we're literally going to be dismantling the cycle too and giving our critique on how to fix it in areas that we think are, subpar, and analyzing, the health protocols and whatnot, and giving our 2 cents. But ultimately, you're going to get insight into what a top pro, not representative of what the other top pros he's competing against necessarily are doing, but it's indicative to what at least one top guy is doing. And, you can take from it what you will, but I just thought it was a reasonable segue, given that Fouad was literally talking about me and said, I mentioned, such and such about pro bodybuilder doses. So we will literally be talking about it soon. So anyways, let me know what you guys thought about their discussion on the, the pro doses and shit. Also about, the deaths in bodybuilding lately, what kind of, they've been pretty outspoken about ways to actually trying to discuss practical solutions to be implemented to start preventing some of these, early deaths in bodybuilding. They've talked about mandatory blood tests. They've talked about mandatory passing, health screenings and whatnot, physical exams, etc. Personally, I did the video the other day about a bodybuilder needs to die on stage before somebody will actually do something. Now, again, I'm not literally saying that. I'm taking that from an Instagram post that was made by a top natural bodybuilder who basically made a very polarizing headline in order to catch attention, which ultimately is a perfect segue to, put it out there as a title on a YouTube video to get attention to it, which then brings attention to the fucking proactive health measures that should be taken that aren't being taken right now. Because ultimately, self-education, a lot of this stuff is just lack of even knowing what to do. The overwhelming information of trying to understand what kind of ancillaries you should actually be using, what kind of blood work you should actually be ordering, how to even go about sourcing a high quality doctor who is non-judgmental and will actually work with you on getting the high quality diagnostics, knows how to interpret them for a bodybuilder or for somebody who's an at-risk individual. This is all shit that's overwhelming as fuck from baseline when you don't even know really, a lot of pros don't even know why they're using the fucking anabolics they're on. They just take what their coach tells them to take and they grow like weeds and fucking kill it on stage. But they don't actually know anything about pharmacology, about medicine, about being proactive. They don't know if what their coach is doing is fucking healthy or not half the time. And this is why a lot of them, I think, aren't doing it, as well as individuals just not wanting to spend the money on it, not wanting to take the time to do it. But ultimately, the more information we put out there, the more opportunity it gives to people to have less excuses to not do it, and provides very layman-friendly information that is going to be absorbable and practically useful to apply to your everyday life and bring to a doctor who's non-judgmental, like MerrickHealth.com, linked in the description below. My telemedicine clinic that is non-judgmental has doctors that represent the same quality of information I put on my channel and know the shit inside out: angiotensin receptor blockade, beta blockade, lipid modulation with things like statin therapy, ezetimibe, PCSK9 inhibitors, etc. That kind of shit that, frankly, most, HRT clinics or doctors don't even fucking know or care about when it comes to proactive for preventative medicine. So anyways, looking forward to that, putting out that podcast. And if you want high quality medical oversight, check out Merrick Health, linked in the description below. Also check out Fouad's podcast. Obviously he has very frequent high quality content when it comes to the real shit going on in bodybuilding and whatnot. So, and actual, anecdotes from bodybuilders who've been there and done that, and are in the fucking thick of the industry, top of the game guys, and know their shit. So anyways, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, check out my blog, moreplacemordates.com. Follow my Instagram at moreplacemordates, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. If you want to support the channel, you can check out anything I'm associated with in the video description below. My TRT clinic, I'll telemedicine from the comfort of your own home, like I mentioned. It's linked in the description below, as well as a self-service lab subsection of the website where you can just order your own blood work. If you don't want to talk to a doctor, you can get your own bloods done and interpret them yourself if you want. We actually have a service where we will at least give you a relatively thorough interpretation and vague recommendations, at least based on what we can legally do, without actually consulting the doctor. Vague interpretations of oh, this is where your LP little a is, and this is what it means, and this is what you may want to be doing to, attenuate that or avoid atherogenic fucking risk. that kind of stuff. And even knowing what kind of labs to order. Like, we make it idiot proof and we guide you on the way. You know, how many people are just getting basic LDL, HDL, fucking ratio, trigs, total cholesterol still, and know nothing about LP(a) or the actual lipid biomarkers that are otherwise the most insightful into seeing your risk of atherosclerosis development. You know, that kind of shit we cover, and we're staying on top of all of the current literature to know what to recommend to our patients to stay as healthy and safe and have as high quality of a life as possible. So check that out. Anything else I'm associated with, it's all in the video description below. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.